Hey, what's going on, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. When will the MLB lockout end, and will they push back the start of the regular season, and how will it all impact the Dodgers? We're going to dive into that in just a second, but quick reminder, for all latest Dodgers news and rumors, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. Really helps out the channel. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day. Who do you stand with in the MLB lockout, the players or the owners? Do you think the owners are being greedy? Do you think the players are asking for too much? How do you think the league can de-incentivize tanking? What do you think they need to do? And also, do you think we'll have a full 162-game season in 2022? I want your takes down below. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So I know at this point we should be looking ahead to spring training, the regular season, previewing the rotation, the lineup, the bullpen, talking about the signings, the roster construction heading into the 2022 season. But unfortunately, you already know why we're not discussing those topics, because Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association, well, they get along about as well as bathtubs and toasters, like forks and power outlets, like orange juice and toothpaste. These guys just can't stand each other, they don't get along, and they can't come to an agreement on a new CBA. And look, I haven't done too many of these MLB lockout videos. I have done a few, but look, the vast majority of baseball fans, they like talking baseball. They like talking about their teams and pitchers and hitters in the season and everything that goes along with the game, and not millionaires arguing with billionaires. They don't like to discuss labor disputes, but now it's very important, because if the two sides can't come to an agreement by next Monday, February 28th, well, it looks like they're going to have to push back the beginning of the 2022 regular season. And the reason why that date is so significant is because opening day is set for March 31st. The Dodgers are set to take on the Rockies at the Ravine, so you're going to need 4 weeks at least to get spring training in. You're going to need a couple days to get a deal finalized. You're going to need travel time, so you can't just pack that all in to a short amount of time. And then if you push back the regular season, are you talking about missing games? Are you talking about an abbreviated season, whether it be a 151-game season or a 120-game season? God help us if it's another 60-game season. But look, the bottom line is we could be looking at a shorter season if they can't get a deal done. Because look, once the owners start losing money, once they start losing that revenue at the gates, then that money's really going to talk. And if you're a player at this point, look, you want to hold out, but you also want to get those game checks. And the players don't get their game checks until the start of the season. Yes, they do get some sort of a stipend in spring training and that sort of thing, but you don't get those big game checks until the start of the regular season. So what is holding up this deal? The players and the owners, they just can't get on the same page about a lot of different things, but one of the big issues, one of the big sticking points is the CBT, the collective bargaining threshold. Well, right now, the union wants $245 million for the first threshold, while the owners, they want $214 million for the first threshold. So you can see they are far off from that standpoint. And why is that so significant? Well, it's because, look, yes, Major League Baseball doesn't have a salary cap, but that CBT, it pretty much acts as one, because you only had 2 teams last season that surpassed the CBT. Who were those teams? Of course, the Los Angeles Dodgers, but also the San Diego Padres. Now, you have some big market teams out there, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Cubs. There are teams that have money, and there were teams that got relatively close, but only 2 teams passed that CBT threshold in the 2021 season. And if you have it at $214 million, teams aren't really going to go past that very often, because you're going to get penalized. But if you raise it to $245 million, teams are going to have incentive to sign players, to add more high-priced guys to their team, and they're not going to have to worry about that penalty. So what that does is more guys around the league get paid. But as you see right there, they are pretty far off, a difference of about $31 million. But let's say they do raise this, that's going to put pressure on these ownership groups around Major League Baseball to spend on players and show their team, show their fans that they are being competitive, that they want to pursue a World Series championship, because that's one of the big issues right now in Major League Baseball. There's only a handful of teams that truly go all in, that take all those chips and push them right in the middle of the table and are willing to spend big. big on going for it all. Because look, right now you have teams out there willing to tank their way to the top and not wanting to spend big money. Now, if they do increase that number to the threshold where the players want it, does that mean like franchises like the Pirates or the Rays or the Marlins that they're going to spend big? No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't guarantee that, but teams out there that want to spend can spend without being penalized, and hopefully that'll lead to more teams being competitive. Now, another issue is the minimum salary. Now, just to give you an idea of how MLB's minimum salary compares with the other professional sports leagues in America, here's a tweet from the Athletics MLB insider Jim Bowden. NFL minimum $660,000. The NBA $925,258. The NHL $750,000. Well, last year for Major League Baseball, that number sat at $570,500. And then John Heyman tweeted, "Union moved the percent of 2+ players to get arbitration to 75% from 80, kept the minimum salary at $775,000 for 2022, and moved it up slightly in subsequent years to $805, $835, $855, and $895. It was $570,500 in 21, though fairly, that was less than the other three major team sports." And then Heyman went on to tweet, "MLB was unimpressed by union offer today, but intends to make a proposal tomorrow when the sides meet a third straight day. One side needs to do something bold. The one thing that may help is they are moving closer to the February 28 deadline to reach a deal to start season on time." So the good news is that the players and the owners are meeting every day in Jupiter, Florida. So the more they meet, the better chance they have to at least inch closer to getting a deal done. Now, what do you need to know at this point? The players have gotten played in past deals. Yes, a lot of Major League Baseball players are wealthy. Yes, a good amount are filthy rich. Even the ones that aren't rich are well compensated, but the reality is that revenues have gone up in Major League Baseball over the years, while players' salaries have remained stagnant. So the owners have been benefiting from the increased revenue more than the players. They've gotten a bigger slice of the pie. So how can players get their fair share of the revenue? Well, younger players need to get paid more when they produce more earlier in their careers, and players need to get to arbitration in free agency quicker with the hopes that it prevents teams from service time manipulation. Now, if you don't know what service time manipulation is, well, first of all, service time is the amount of time that a player has been on an active MLB roster or the injured list. A player becomes a free agent at the end of the season where they reach 6 years of service time. 1 year of service time, the maximum amount a player can gain in one season, is 172 days. A single baseball season lasts 187 days. So just look at what happened to Chris Bryant a few years back. Bryant was first called up by the Cubs on April 17, 2015, and that allowed him to accumulate only 171 days of service time, 1 day short of a full year in his first season. So what do the players want right now? Well, the big thing is the CBT, but also the union was asking for three things that the league has said that it's just not going to change in this CBA. They want to reduce revenue sharing between teams. They want free agency before 6 years of service time for some players, and arbitration after 2 years of service. Now, Major League Baseball has made what they consider to be significant concessions to address the union's concerns. The owners have agreed to a draft lottery for the top spots, kind of similar to what you see in the NBA, to help disincentivize teams from tanking, and also have been open to the idea of a bonus pool that would go to the top pre-arbitration players. Now, Major League Baseball has also agreed to do away with the direct draft pick penalty for teams that sign free agents that were extended qualifying offers. So now that would mean that teams wouldn't have to give away draft pick compensation for signing a player. That would hopefully work to stimulate free agent spending. So just take this offseason. Of course, Freddie Freeman, he was extended the qualifying offer at $18.4 million. Let's say the Dodgers sign him, they would have to give up that draft pick compensation. So that wouldn't have to do that under this new system. So what have they agreed to at this point? Well, You're going to have the DH in the National League. You're also probably going to have expanded postseason. And then this one, I hate advertising patches on uniforms. I really hope this one doesn't go through. Now, what have they not agreed on yet? We've talked about them. MLB's minimum salary, the amount of money in the pre-arbitration bonus pool, and how many players it should be distributed to. Also, number of draft picks subject to the lottery and the number of teams in the expanded postseason. So we're going to do another video on this so we can really explore the issues here. Hopefully they can get a deal done soon. Really what it comes down to, who's going to blink first. The players, they know they've gotten screwed in the past, so they're going to stand strong on this one. But hey, if they don't get a deal done by Monday, we are most likely going to look at a delayed regular season and maybe possibly a shortened season. We don't want that, but let me know down below in the comments section. Who do you stand with, the players or the owners? My name is D-Mac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all latest Dodgers news and rumors, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.